going to do the assembly. Before this, you want to make sure all the other mating surfaces are cleaned as well. So we're going to be wiping off like this mating surface in here. Anything where dust could have been introduced while sliding the battery in or anything like that. And I'm also going to do one last quick look at the O-rings to make sure while we've been doing this video that no other dust has maybe fallen from the air and gotten stuck on the grease. Okay, that looks good. And you want to have your screws and screwdriver ready for when you're connecting the end cap on. And before this, I cleaned with alcohol these screws because they can also have some dust and particles on them. And okay, so now we're going to connect. So I forgot to mention before that we used this cage as a place to prop the end cap up so that it was easy to put the O-rings on, because you can't stand it this way. So it just made it a lot easier to prop it in there. But now we're taking it out. So this is what it looks like. And
you may want to explain what this is.
Yes, so as you can see, there's all these labels about this magnet here. So this magnet here is going to trigger this magnet switch, which is right here. And so when you're connecting the end cap, you want to make sure that this switch here is aligned with the magnet. So there's all these labels here for you to make sure you're aligning it. And the most important part during all of this is that you wait to connect the power until right before this connector goes into the housing. So I'm going to get everything ready, but I'm not actually going to connect the power until this is just so I'm just going to explain it as I do it. So like I said earlier, we're going to have both of the battery wires come through this hole here and have them come out on this side. And so now they're kind of out of the way. There's not a great place to put them, but so we want the magnet to be aligned with the labels, and I'm going to start putting it in. And you want to wait to connect the power until just before. For all these parts, it would be good to have a second person helping you, because one person can hold this here and the other person can just focus on the wires. But I'm gonna try to do this on my own. So there's a little pressure because the battery was pressed forward, so that we're going to be pushing the battery into the housing as we're sliding this in. And now I am right at that point where I am ready to connect the power. So I'm going to kind of tuck this one in that we're not going to be using, but it's not going to cooperate. And there's obviously a lot of extra, so this is where another person would help you, is to get these wires kind of out of the way, because you don't want these wires to be pinched when you're actually screwing the end cap in place. So right now, just to double check, the magnet is still aligned. And while the switch is aligned with the magnet and the magnet is connected, when I plug this power in, the system will not start logging. But that is only because the switch is close to where the magnet is on top of it right now. If this end cap was further out and we plugged the power in, it would start logging, and we don't want that. So this is why we're pushing it in as far as we can before we connect the power. So I'm going to connect the power now.
Okay.
Just like that. Gonna try to tuck these out of the way. And I'm just feeling some resistance from the battery. And just check one more time that everything is looking good. Okay. And some more resistance. And okay, so now we're at the O-rings. Looks like this one popped out a little bit, but that's okay. Just make sure the O-rings are in the right places and the magnet labels are still lined up. And now at this point, I can't push it in any further because of the styrofoam that's at the bottom of the battery here. So this is the point where I have to start using the screws to close up the system.